Hey, everybody, welcome and good evening. It is Beer O'Clock. Timmer, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, Cloudy. How are you doing today? That's a great intro today. That's a good one.
Fired up. Fired up.
Hey, I'm feeling good. Feeling good today, bud. I'm feeling good. I'm on holidays.
Nice.
Started holidays today. Feeling good about it.
Beauty.
Feeling limber. Feeling good.
Limber, good to go. All right, everybody, welcome to episode number 4. It is episode number 4 tonight, right, Timmer?
Yep. Episode 4, season 2.
Yeah, season 2, episode 4. Welcome to it. It is Chris and Tim. It is the 3 Beer Pod, and we are excited for our guest here tonight. And Leo Rautins is our guest, Canadian basketball legend, Raptors broadcaster. And I think Tim and I will be very excited to talk to this guy because he is just logging on now. So we'll let him get set up. As we go through our sponsors here tonight, we're going to thank the Health House and Sean over at the Health House for being a sponsor with the 3 Beer Pod. And we always thank Shauna and all the work she does over there, the provider of zucchinis for the show, and myself. You can give me a call if you're looking to buy or sell over at Realty House, 519-350-1216. Right up to the last minute here tonight, Tim, working on getting some deals done. So if you're looking
to buy
properties, or sell, that's right. That's right.
Gets the job done.
That's right. And this week only, if you buy or sell a house with me, you will get a 6-pack.
This week only.
That's this week only. This week only. Timmer, we'll get to the beer buzz. We'll get to Whatcha, drinkin, Bahd. Do you want to? Let's get to Leo right away, okay? Because we know Leo's busy.
Well, I need a beer first, don't we? No.
Well, grab a beer, and then we're going to come back and we'll do Whatcha, drinkin, Bahd. All right. So, Timmer, I'll tell you.
Let's go.
What you drinking, Bud, tonight? I'm drinking a little Norway Pale Lager. This is from Sawdust City Brewing Company. My children were up in Muskoka last week on a little vacation with their mom, and my daughter did a little run to Sawdust. She's 17, but she had her mom buy this from Sawdust City Brewery. She grabbed that. She also grabbed me here, Tim. Let's just go through them all real quick. I've got the Clear Lake Brewing Company Session Ale. I've never heard of this, Tim. Have you heard of this one?
Never heard of it. I'm excited to hear about it, though.
Yep, so we're going to try that. And, Timmer, I'll introduce this one, and then you can take it over because I know we both got the same one. Squints from Left Field Brewery. We're going to get them on the show here at some point, and that's in honor of the second opening day in baseball, which ends away right now. Timmer, what you drinking, Bahd?
No, I'm also going with the Squints. We talked about the sunflower seed ghost last week, and then I bought a case of sunflower seeds on Amazon, and I've been crushing sunflower seeds waiting for this one to come. So I'm excited for that one to come. I'm doing a baseball theme here tonight, even though we have Leo Rautins on and Raptors basketball, but baseball started this week as well. I've got the Bang Bang. It's the dry hop sour from Left Field as well. And I've got Prospect, which I think I still am a Prospect. It's a Sabro single hop IPA. These just came fresh in the mail here today. Ran to the post office to get them on ice here for the show. So looking forward to that. Going to crack this Squints here right now. I'm excited for it.
All right, Timmer, we will talk more about our brews here in just a couple minutes. We want to talk about our first guest of episode number 4. It is Canadian basketball legend, Raptors broadcaster, and hashtag Twine and Wine. It's Leo Rautins.
Oh, hey, what are you doing here? Oh, I know what you're doing here. It's 5 o'clock. So you know what that means. We sit down, crack open a little cab, and it's time to wine and twine. Cheers.
The man is a legend. There he is. He's Leo Rautins. How you doing, Leo?
Nice.
I'm great. How you guys doing?
Very good. So, Leo, this is a beer podcast, but we're going to give you a pass here. I'm assuming you're drinking wine. What do you got tonight?
Actually, I got a J-Lore cab. So I'm a big California cab guy. So that's usually my go-to.
Very good. Leo, we want to know right away, where are you? Where are you set up right now? Are you in the bubble? What's your situation?
No, I'm in Toronto. I'm in downtown Toronto. I'm actually in quarantine. This is my last full day of quarantine. I came back from Florida, and the Raptors' first game is official game is the 1st of August. So I had to come back in time to quarantine and get set for that.
Okay, that was that was what we were just talking off air about what your situation was. Obviously, you live in Florida and you're spending your time in Florida. But there's no broadcasters at the game. How is that working? You're calling the games from a studio?
Yeah, it's a lot like what we did when the Raptors played in Tokyo back in October. And I've done international competitions that way. So the bubble is only allowing essential team personnel. So obviously, TV people don't fall into that category. And we call it off. We have like a 60-inch monitor, and you have all kinds of other things available to you. And basically, you're calling a game. You're watching a game like everybody else. You do have some other information that maybe the viewer's not privy to, and you watch the game and call the game. So, for the most part, a lot of times we've done this, fans have no idea where we are. Now they do, but generally they don't. And, it's, I don't mind it. It's actually kind of, it's different. It's fun. And what people don't realize actually when they watch a broadcast, you're actually, you watch the monitor as much as you watch the game in real life. You can tell I'm downtown with the sirens going here, but, you actually watch a monitor as much as you watch a game because you always have to be conscious of what the viewer's seeing while you're talking, and that you might be referring to something that they're not seeing. So, it's part of a regular game anyway to view the monitor as much as we do.
Oh, I think we lost Chris again.
No, I'm here.
Oh,
There we are. Leo, what has it been like for you with the season just halting right away and then getting back to Florida? What has your life been like? We know Florida's been one of the hot spots of this pandemic. What have you been doing? I know you've been hanging around the pool, but what else is going on?
Well, quite honestly, when this thing entirely started, I live in Florida and Toronto. When I went to Florida, it was really a 3-day break, and we had a game. I think I got there on a Tuesday. We were supposed to play on a Friday, and by Wednesday night, the season was canceled or suspended. So, prior to the All-Star game, I had major back surgery. I came back really quick, and so the pandemic in some ways has been very good for me physically. I've been able to rehab and spend a lot of time by my pool, doing a lot of things to get better. At the same time, it's unnerving. I mean, Florida was certainly not a place to be as far as the pandemic is concerned. Honestly, rarely left the house. Rarely. Try to order everything to come in there. If I did leave, I had masks, gloves, you name it. But the difference just being in Toronto, even though I'm quarantined, just seeing what's going on here versus what's going on in Florida, dramatic difference. I mean, people are, elbow to elbow crowds, not wearing masks. Beaches are packed. Kids in grocery stores, just like you're going like, do you not realize what's happening? It's mind-boggling in many ways.
Yeah, we got lots to talk to you about. And everybody has any questions for Leo, you can throw up there in the chat. But I want to back up. You are a Canadian basketball legend. When people think of Canadian basketball, they think of Leo Rautins. So it's an honor to have you here on the show tonight. Leo, what was it like growing up? Basketball, I don't want to say wasn't big in Canada, but it's certainly, with yourself and other names coming up, and then the Raptors winning, has really taken off as a big Canadian sport. But what was it like as you were younger coming up and playing basketball?
Obviously, the focus wasn't basketball in the city of Toronto or Canada. So we were very much a minority, all the basketball players trying to do our thing. But at the same time, I was exposed to a lot of things that were very unique. Because you don't have a lot of rules here. I was playing in men's leagues from the time I was in 8th grade. So I was always around older guys, and my background was Lithuanian. And that's one of the reasons all the Lithuanian kids play basketball. It's the national sport back in Lithuania. So even the kids in Toronto, we were all playing, and we had these, tournaments all over the United States we'd go to and play. So I was exposed to a fairly high level of basketball, even though I was, living in Toronto. My brother played basketball. He got a scholarship to Niagara University. So again, I had exposure there, going to basketball camps on the other side of the border. And then I made probably the biggest difference for me was that I made the national team when I was 16 years old. And that really just opened up everything. It opened up. One, I got great exposure to Jack Donahue, who really helped me believe I could be an NBA player. Um, I went from being a kid in Toronto to being recruited by every school in the country in the States. And it changed my life dramatically. And I felt bad because there were a lot of good players at that time. They just weren't seen and weren't recruited, not like they are today. So it was very different, but I can't say it was bad for me. I had some very fortunate experiences, so some great mentorship that allowed me to do what I did.
Did you ever think Canada basketball would get to the spot where it is right now? We have 13 Canadians starting in the NBA this year. Our women's national team is ranked fourth in FIBA. The popularity of basketball is exploding in Canada. Did you think we'd ever be at this spot with basketball? You know, you mentioned hockey might have been where it was at when you were growing up. Did you think we'd ever get to this spot in basketball where we are now, Leo?
Well, this was certainly my dream, and I had a pretty good inclination that it could. Let's make one thing clear: with the NBA coming to Canada, specifically to Toronto, that changed everything. If you look at all these kids that are in the NBA now, a lot of them were born in Andrew Wiggins was the #1 pick, born in 1995. When did the NBA come to Canada? 1995. So these kids grew up with it, right? They grew up with the game. They saw it every day. I rarely saw games in person. The Buffalo Braves played a handful of games at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. But you didn't see that many games on TV. These kids see 300 games a year. So they're exposed to a whole different world. The coaching's better, everything's better. So I'm not surprised where it's at, but here's what people do forget. In 1982, our national team, we had about 7 draft picks on that team, including first round picks. Now you had more rounds in a draft back then, but think about that. We had about 7 draft picks on our 82 team. So basketball is not new. It didn't just start, and we actually had a fair amount of success. So there were the people that kind of paved the way, but without a doubt, the NBA's presence. I mean, you're talking about $1 billion marketing machine, and that really changed the game in this country. Really forever. And what the championship did last year, it's going to take it to another entirely new level that we don't even know at this point what that's going to be.
6'8", Leo. Basketball seems like a smart option for you. But was there other sports that you were playing growing up?
Oh, I played hockey just like everybody else.
That's going to be my question.
Oh yeah. I played hockey like everybody else. But when I was 11 years old, I had a back surgery, a very serious situation. They told me that I might never walk again. I'll definitely never play sports again. So getting checked into the boards was not a good option. After that. But I dabbled with some other sports, but quite honestly, I was talking about this with somebody the other day that I never felt I was good enough that I couldn't be in a gym practicing at what I wanted to do, and that was basketball. So I kind of lived my life with the idea that if I'm not in a gym practicing, one day I'm going to run into somebody who is, and that guy's going to kick my butt. So I was once I think by 8th grade, ninth grade, it was all basketball for me.
Timmer, do you have something there?
No, I'd love to just talk about some Raptor stuff.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie. I grew up. Go ahead.
No,
Bob.
I was just going to say, so you played with Philadelphia, you played with Indiana, Atlanta, and then you played a lot in Europe, and you played pretty much right up until you ended up broadcasting with the Raptors back in '95. But you did take broadcasting in school. Was that always in the back of your mind that I can fall back on this if my career doesn't take me all the way on the court?
Yeah, believe it or not, this was a plan in 9th grade. My guidance counselor was also my basketball coach. I hate math. I hate numbers. I'm terrified of numbers. And we sat down and said, okay, what can I do? Like, I was determined I was going to be an NBA player. I had no doubt in my mind I was going to play in the NBA, as crazy as that sounds. And I said, look, it makes no sense to me to decide on some kind of a career where I'm going to be it'll be totally different than what I'm doing for what I want to do and play basketball. I want to try to tie the two together. I enjoy talking. I enjoy being in front of people. I enjoy writing. And we came up with journalism. And so that's kind of been a plan from 9th grade on. And Syracuse had one of the best broadcast journalism schools in the country. And I mean, you come up Marv Albert, Bob Costas, Dick Stockton. You just go through all the great names. Mike Tirico, Sean McDonough in the broadcasting world. They're all Syracuse grads. So it was a great school. It was a great opportunity for me to pursue it. And the best advice I ever got for any young kids listening was that your degree doesn't mean anything. It's your resume. And that's your resume even while you're in school. You got to keep building it. And unfortunately, I had all kinds of injuries and that put gaps in my career or stopped me from playing at certain times and ultimately cut it short. But what I did was every time I couldn't play, I either broadcast or I wrote in columns. I wrote columns in the Italian newspaper when I was playing in Italy.
Really?
I broadcast the CBC Olympics, after my rookie year. So I built up a resume. So when the time finally came and the Raptors were looking for somebody, I was ready for that next stage.
Before we get to your Raptors career, I want to talk about. I just want to give a shout out. Tim Wolf is a viewer, a new viewer. He's from the Minnesota era. Let me start that again. Minnesota area. Let's spit that out. I didn't take broadcasting at Syracuse. Tim is a big fan. He said he dropped a note and said he had a fantastic career at the University of Minnesota. Loved watching you play there and wanted to give a shout out. So Tim, if I could have spit that out a little better, there's your little shout out tonight. So the Raptors.
That.
The Raptors show up 1995. Toronto's got a team, Vancouver got a team at the same time, but the Raptors get a team, and there's excitement. And you're in like Flint right away, and you've been there ever since. And you've seen some things from that first game at the Sky Dome to winning the championship last year. That's a ride right there.
Oh, it really is. I mean, you're talking about, just the excitement of game one with the NBA finally being in Canada, in Toronto. That was an incredible moment. And, as with an expansion team, remember the expansion rules really kind of set the new teams back a little bit back then. You couldn't get a number one pick. You couldn't do a lot of different things, which was, unlike in other times. So, there was a lot of ups and downs, more downs than ups. But then you started to see this gradual rise. And, there's been so many, outstanding players that have come through Toronto, different levels of management. So we finally get to a point where you have an incredible organization from what Masai Ujiri and his staff have done from an organizational standpoint, managerial standpoint has been incredible. Their coaches, from Dwayne Casey now to Nick Nurse, and the personnel, they've done a phenomenal job of not only identifying talent but blending talent. And maybe the most important part is developing talent. For years, people would say, wow, who wants to come to Toronto? Which isn't true. But, players love Toronto. But if that really is, let's just say a hypothetical, that's a situation. Well, guess what? Then you better have a great development. And if you think about the Raptors, they won a championship last year without a top 15 pick on the team. First time anybody's ever won a championship without a top 15 player. You have, an undrafted Fred VanVleet. This year, you got an undrafted Terrence Davis. You have a late first-round pick. You got second-round pick players that are key players. Pascal Siakam's a star, and he was a late first-round pick. Everybody wrote off Kyle Lowry, and look at what Kyle Lowry's done. He's going to have his jersey retired at Scotiabank Arena. So the Raptors have done so many amazing things, and to be on that ride all the way up, it was incredible. When they were when they beat Milwaukee to get to the finals, it was just like, wow. And then even though once the playoffs started, I had no doubt that the Raptors could win it all. And certainly once they were in the mix in the finals, I believe they could win it. But when it finally happened, and even in the summer, it was still surreal. I remember last summer walking around, go NBA champs. Wow. It was still, as much as we believed it, it's still surreal when it all happened.
Let's watch this to bring back a little memory here. What was that party like that night after that game? What was that like, Leo?
Well, we didn't even get out of the arena. By the time you're done with the interviews, by the time you're done all the wrap ups, and I don't even know what time it is. All I know is the place was empty by the time we got out of there, and there was an after party going on with the Raptors, and then we did end up over there, and all I can tell you is I had a noon flight back to Toronto the next day. And I don't remember much between getting back to my hotel and getting on that flight. That's it was a crazy night.
Well, being there from the start, that like you've seen it all, and you've seen players come and go and rebuilds, and hey, we're start again, and to finally get it, you're right. To see that win over Milwaukee, and then just the role they got on, the way Canada got behind them, and the North, and man, I'm a basketball fan, but I was diehard in the playoffs last year, and Canada got behind them, and you must have felt that in the arena, and just the social media push, and just Canadians getting behind that team.
Well, you know what's interesting? Talking to John Vitov and Isaiah Thomas, obviously John Vitov, the original owner of the Raptors, and Isaiah Thomas, the first GM. When the idea of having their own arena downtown, and you see we have Maple Leaf Square, they call it Jurassic Park, where everybody crowds in there for the games. That was actually something that they had hoped would happen, coming from their experience of being in Indiana and the NCAA environment, right? You know, you get these great parties and the tailgating and a whole bit that everybody is outside the arena as much as inside the arena, and ultimately to see that happen in Toronto with the Raptors is incredible. And I got to tell you, this team is very much like an NCAA college team. Everywhere we go when we travel, Raptor fans. I mean, we could be in Minnesota. You know, they're coming down from, Winnipeg and all the northern provinces or the western provinces, or you go to, you're in California, you get all the people from BC and everybody coming out. So the following is crazy. And when we were in the finals, I'm not kidding you. I sit there, I'm asking these people, like, Oakland, Oracle Arena is a great arena, and it's not a monstrous arena. But I swear to God, by the time the Raptors were winning the last two games, a third of that arena was Canadians. Like, how'd you guys get all these tickets? Like, how'd you get these tickets? Like, I know one of my boys was there, and I had to pull every connection I had to get one ticket from my son. And in the meantime, there's a third of the arena is full of Canadians. So it was. And it was really cool because they, they're singing "Oh Canada," and all the workers at Oracle Arena, they let them do their thing, man. They usually, to get everybody out, they let them enjoy the moment. They let them sing the anthem. They let them, cheer on everybody before they finally told them to get out. So it was a pretty cool scene.
It's pretty cool for us. We didn't play for Team Canada or play basketball or be there from the beginning, so I can imagine how cool it was for you. If we asked you, Leo, and we won't make you do it, but if I asked you to call Drake, would you have his phone number in your phone?
No.
Like, how close are you?
No. I'm certainly not one of his inside guys. Drake and I think get along great. We're always talking when we see each other, but no, I'm not on the inner circle, and but I love it when he's hanging out by our table. We have a great time. He's a funny guy. He's got a great sense of humor, and so we really enjoy him being around.
For sure. Timmer, you had something there, buddy.
Yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about Nick Nurse. You guys have something in common. You're both you coached the national team, Canada national team, and Nick Nurse is now going to be now is the national team coach. Did you ever sit down with him and talk to him about what that's going to be like? Maybe give him some tips along the way on what to expect with the international game.
I don't think Nick really needed any tips from me because of his experience. I mean, he knows. In all honesty, I mean, he's coached all over the world. He's been involved with a national team of Great Britain. So his experience is tremendous. But we did have some conversations prior to him actually coaching Canada, and he was just really excited about the opportunity. And to be honest with you, he's a perfect coach for FIBA. If you think about the Raptors and all the situations they've had, load management, trades in midseason, guys being hurt, nothing bothers this guy. Nothing. No. And that's what FIBA's all about. Like FIBA, you go into a tournament, you don't even know who's going to be playing for you. You don't know what level of conditioning anybody's in. It's players off season when you get them. There's all kinds of crazy things that happen in FIBA games with officials and fans and other teams. So he's the perfect coach because, I joke about it. He's like that mad scientist, right? If you go to Nick Nurse, and what do coaches like? Coaches like everything in order. They like to know what they have. With Nick Nurse, you could walk up to him and say, "Hey, Nick, you only have 5 players for tonight's game, and they're not even your best guys." And I could just see him going, like, rubbing his hands and looking up, going, "Yeah, I can do this. I can do this."
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of coaches like that. They're really not. And what's impressive is he's got 100% buy-in. I mean, think about everybody laughed about the Bucks and won in the finals. Well, guess what? It worked. The Raptors won. And without ever practicing it, he walks into his huddle and he says, "Guys, here's what we're going to do." And what everybody thought was an uncoachable guy, and a tough guy to get along with, and the tough this, tough that, Kyle Lowry goes, "I'm in. Let's do this." And that tells you he got 100% buy-in from every one of his guys because they respect him. They know he's authentic. He knows his stuff. There's sincerity, and they all believe in him. I really have a lot of respect for Nick Nurse. A lot of respect.
Leo, I know you want to get back to that wine. We don't have too many more questions for you. Just what are the Raptors going to look like here as we come out of this quarantine, and they're in the bubble right now, and they're contained? What's going to happen? We've seen how baseball 3 games in, we're seeing what's happening in Miami, and it's falling apart down there. And who knows what's going to happen the rest of the season? What's the NBA going to look like, and what are the Raptors specifically going to look like starting up here again this weekend?
Well, if you think about what the NBA has done, they spent $150 million on creating this bubble. And the other pro leagues have not done that. They have not gone to the extent of what the NBA has done. And every player, they're checked multiple times a day. A player can't. They have a watch and a ring on that actually give them access to other areas. If a player happens to leave his room before he takes his temperature or fills out some information on the internet, he'll get locked out of other areas. He can't even get to other areas. And as you see, anybody that's crossed the lines has been penalized and immediately put into quarantine. So they're doing this. I've said this before this even started, that the bubble will probably be as safe as staying at home. And that's not easy to do. So the NBA has gone to great lengths to make this a great environment. But it is a different animal, right? Your life is very restricted. Yeah, you're staying on a luxury resort, but if you go to the finals, you're going to be there 3.5 months, and you're going from the gym to the hotel, and that's it. You're not going to see your family. You're going to be away from everybody you want to be around. And if you're not focused, if you're not locked in, you don't have a chance in this. And that's where I think the Raptors have a great opportunity. This team is all about winning. This team is all about winning a championship. Because if you think about it, as soon as they won, they were immediately discredited. And when Kawhi left, they go, "Hey, that's it. It's over. You're not even going to make the playoffs next year." So they didn't even have a chance to do the victory dance. So this is a very hungry team. And the makeup of these guys, the maturity, the togetherness, and with management. I mean, look at Masai Ujiri, Bobby Webster. They're in the bubble. They're there with them. There was no question of that. So this is a team that's very focused. They're very talented, and I think they got a great shot. And any of these other teams that don't have that kind of maturity and focus, they're not going to last, and it's going to be a short visit for them. And that's why I think the Raptors got a great shot.
When this whole quarantine started, you started posting these videos on Twitter, the twine and wine, the hashtag twine and wine, and we've seen some of those trick shots. How many takes does it take to make one of those shots? How much time do you spend doing that? No way. No way.
Here's the thing. You can't ask David Copperfield how he does his magic. You just enjoy the show, right? So I will tell you there were some very interesting days, and there were some surprising days, and sometimes I had to make sure that I didn't do any cheering before the shots were taken, and left it to after the shots were taken. But the whole thing started out as a joke, right? The NBA had that horse competition going on,
Right.
Yep.
and somebody, I think TSN said, "Hey, let's all, you guys, a couple of you guys do this and this, talk a little trash, and we'll put it on TV." And so I did that, and I saw the response from people was kind of interesting. So I just started doing it, and I figured, look, we're in a pandemic. for a lot of people, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of suffering, there's a lot of misery right now. People are not happy. They have just let's break it up a little bit. Let's have a laugh. I want to cheers to you. Make sure you're okay, and send some good wishes. And what happened is what happened is like this thing's going on 20 days, 30 days, 40 days, right? I'm going on, man. But I felt obligated to do it because I really honestly felt that people were getting their little bit of sports. They were getting a laugh, a little diversion, breaking up the monotony a little bit. And like I said, I felt obligated to keep doing it. And like people forget, like I had major back surgery at the All-Star break. So it's not like I can go swan diving into the pool and shoot the ball. So I was kind of limited on the athleticism I could put into my shots. So coming up with 80 shots, if that's what it was, it was a lot of pressure. I needed the wine.
You mentioned Twitter. Your Twitter game is strong. You don't have a problem telling people to shut up or just telling them zip it, or especially down in Florida where you've seen some things down there. Do you get any flack for that for some of your conversations that you have on there?
No, I mean I'm if you're an idiot, I'm going to let you know you're an idiot. I mean, I'm not going to, and Twitter has a great, you got that, I call it the D-bag button. I can press block and that's the D-bag button. But I give you a chance. You don't have to agree with everything. You don't have to agree with everything I'm saying, but it's how you disagree, right? I mean, you don't have to disrespect me. I'm not disrespecting you. I have some strong political thoughts over what's happening in the United States. I express those thoughts because I believe that's for the better good. When I do see people, Black Lives Matter, when I see people marginalized, oppressed, mistreated, I try to speak up. I try to use my platform for that. Every morning I do a little coffee thing. It's just a positive message, right? Start your day with something positive. The whole idea, and you'd be shocked at the number of people come up and say, hey, that really meant something. So I think whatever we can do in those situations to try to do, but what is funny is like people think that one, I'm an alcoholic, okay, because of the twine and wine.
Yep.
And two, they think I drink gallons of coffee every day. And neither one of those is true. But that's the fallout from all that. But I have some fun with it.
Leo, we appreciate you finding some time. I know it's busy. I know you're in the last day of quarantine. You're going to be in the studio with Matt Devlin, who we would love to get Matt on it sometimes. If you could just drop him a little hint, like do this beer pod.
I definitely will.
We're good guys.
Will.
Leo,
he likes
Leo,
beer too. He likes his beer too, so that's good.
We would love to talk to him. I do have one question. Wade, our buddy, wants to know, where's Andy playing right now? The dude could shoot. Your son Andy, where's he playing?
Andy, last he finished the season in Panathinaikos in Greece. But as of right now, he's got a lot of offers, but he hasn't signed with anybody yet. And honestly, at this point, I don't know what his plans are, if he's going to hang it up or wait for the perfect offer. So it's up in the air right now.
Leo, thanks, buddy. Stay healthy. I hope to watch you for another 3.5 months as we cheer the Raptors to defend that title. We the North.
Hopefully I can come on and we can talk about the repeat, and cheers to that.
Yeah,
cheers.
I love it.
Thanks, Leo.
Thanks, Leo.
Have a good one, buddy. Stay healthy. There's Canadian basketball legend, Raptors broadcaster. There's Leo Rautins. Let's end it with another twine and all.
It's not 5 o'clock yet, but it doesn't matter. It's Sunday. It's time to twine and wine. Cheers.
The dude is a legend. Come on.
Crushing it on Twitter, buddy.
Come on.
Just crushing it.
That is awesome. I was just looking as we were wrapping up there. He's got
talk to Leo.
54,000 followers on Twitter. First of all, the guy is on Twitter at Leo Rautins. Nobody gets their name on Twitter. And the guy's got his name. Good for him.
I think I
54,000.
got my Hotmail address when the internet started with my name, and that was the only time that's ever worked out for me.
No, I can't get anything with my name. I can't get anything. Leo Rautins, what a dude, man. That is That's pretty good. We've been trying to get him on for a little while, and thanks to Ron Blomers, who is a buddy of ours too, and I think he's tuning in tonight, who made the connection and got Leo on here tonight. Hey, BJ, thanks for tuning in, buddy. Oh, I wanted to go back here. Isabella Mazin. Isabella.
Oh, buddy.
That's the hat right there.
We met Isabella on our trip to Kingsville.
That's right. Isabella's over at Kingsville Brewery and got one of these hats. Timmer, you got a shirt, which you're going to debut here coming up in
I was going to wear it tonight, but then you put your hat on, and then I was also wearing my Raps hat. And didn't want to clash, It's blue and black.
Yeah.
Just want to look good. Look good.
Leo,
let's hope that Leo drops it to Matt Devlin. We'll get him on too. Matt, I love the Raptors basketball. I'm not going to lie. I love Raptors basketball.
Yeah, I think he's a good dude. Hey, Isabella, thanks for watching. Say hi to everybody over at Kingsville Brewery. We're gonna have to get Marty Turco, who was our guest in episode 3 of season 1. We'll have to get him back on, as Dallas is in the bubble right now in Edmonton in the NHL playoffs. And of course, Marty Turco, one of the owners over there at Kingsville Brewery. Great place. I love what they're doing down in Kingsville. And we had the Grove on last week. So thanks, Isabella. Thank you very much for watching here tonight. BJ says, love the shirt. Timmer needs a medium.
Oh, but yeah. We're working on those. We're working on distribution.
little hang up with the importing exporting, right? Is that what
we need it? If you know a good importer exporter, we need one here today. You want to go back to? Can I just talk about squints for a second?
Yeah, let's go back because I was down in that as we were talking with Leo there.
What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like this. I'm loving what they got over at left field. This is I haven't had a lot, but the 3 or 4 I've had, a big fan of what's going on over there. Squint, sunflower seed ghost right there. There you go.
I know that I'd be remiss to say that this has a bit of a salty back end to it that you're getting from the sunflower seed.
Yeah.
Got nothing on the salty back end. Okay.
No, we'll let that hang. I'll never be able to not think that when I'm drinking a squinty. All right, Timmer, let's get to the beer buzz here tonight. Leo was awesome. He's a good dude. I'm happy we got him. Couple stories here. Seniors are brewing beer at a Texas seniors home. So it's, you go to these seniors homes and, they're finding something for them to do. So the story says is that they love to play bingo, but they also like to play beer. So they had a assistant there at the seniors home who had some equipment, and they're actually making beer now. This is down in Texas, Palmer Woods Beer Works, and they've got 4 beers out: a cider, an IPA, an oatmeal stout, and a wit beer. And they're working on an ale and a lager, and they're just digging it. And they're making beers. I'm like, good for them.
I'm just envisioning the old people having to crank the grain mill, and they're just putting them to work. I hope it's willingly making beer. I hope it's not to subsidize their living.
Like a sweatshop.
Yeah, it's old people beer making sweatshop in Texas. It is Texas. We don't get any listeners from Texas. Oh, Murray Turco's in Texas. Okay, yeah. We'll lay off Texas. But that's what I'm picturing.
I got you. I'm getting
crank it away.
I'm getting you. Ice cold beer. So we know baseball started here last week, and hopefully it continues. We can talk about that. But Buffalo Wild Wings is looking to hire, or they did hire, and they ran an ad campaign down to the U.S. We need sports. Sports need us. And they had some of the recognizable beer vendors sell beer at the Buffalo Wild Wings in their local communities. So, the beer vendor at Tiger Stadium or Comerica or Rogers Center. You ever been to Rogers Center and that guy that yells, ice, cold, beer? That guy is a legend. So, they were hooking up him and different guys, too, to sell beer at their Buffalo Wild Wings. That was pretty cool. And Tom Hanks, of course, Academy Award winner Tom Hanks, is being used as the voice of a beer vendor at Oakland A's games this year. So you know how you watch a ball game and you know how they're piping in the sound because obviously there's nobody there. So at Oakland A's games, they got the sound piped in, but then you hear Tom Hanks going, beer here,
come on,
beer here. So if you ever get the chance to watch an A's game from whatever their stadium is in Oakland, that will be piped in at different points during the game. You'll kind of hear it in the background. But yeah, that's Tom Hanks. I thought that was
like
pretty
it.
cool.
I like it. I'm actually digging the crowd noise.
Are ya?
I am, because I think of what the alternative would be, and it would just be like dead air the whole time. So I don't mind it. I tried. Have you tried the app? It
No.
was like the cheering app.
Oh, I got that.
I don't
here.
think it does anything. And I was just tapping away on the thing, and I don't think it did squat. But I tapped my heart out for the Tigers. They lost last night 14-5 or something. I don't know. They're terrible. I had some hope for a second, but then I watched the full game and realized, no, Tigers are terrible.
Well, let's talk about some of the sports that are coming back. So the sound, I don't mind the background kind of chirping and you hear some sound in there. I just don't like that there's like two sounds. There's background noise and then there's hit, which is like and it's like there's just one or the other. There's no in between. There's no build up, and you're not going to get that unless you're the fan. Have you seen what they're doing in the NBA? And we had obviously Leo on. What they're going to do in the NBA is that teams are going to invite, I think it's 300 to a Zoom party. So they'll invite you, they'll invite me, and 298 other people, and we'll be staring into our Zoom camera like this. Yeah. And around the court, there's going to be monitors where we're.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be cheering, right?
It was on the Raptors exhibition game, so it's pre-taped. It's not live, because I'd be like, it's just pre-taped. So then I just kept seeing the repeat of the same thing over and over and over again. Like, it would be way better if it was a live Zoom call and you're just watching and then cheering realistically. But yeah, it was all taped. They're working out some technical difficulties. Matt Devlin was having a heck of a time with the technical difficulties going on with the broadcast in the exhibition Raptors game. But it's good. I still kind of feel guilty about watching sports, and I've watched a bunch, and I wasn't even really missing sports. I watched the Bridget Carlton play a WNBA game on Sunday. I've watched 3 Tigers games now, 2 Raptors games. I've been watching it. Apparently I missed it. I didn't think I did, but I did. I'm back. I'm excited to see the Raptors. I'm not gonna lie. I could have talked Raptors with Leo. Maybe we could call him back. That's for sure.
Just drag him back in here. You know what? I'm with you. I wasn't missing sports. I got so much done. I'm not going to get things done now. And I thought, ball's back. I didn't watch much on the weekend, but caught a Jays game last night. Depends when you're watching this. Leafs are going to be playing. Basketball's going to be back. My summer's done. Like, I literally have accomplished. This is it. So,
and now they're like pumping in multiple games a day. It's just going to be a constant feed of sports. So
yeah, hockey's going to be crazy because there's going to be 5 or 6 games every single day. Yeah, Corey with the nicest
I would definitely be leaning in to the camera if I was on the live Zoom watching the Raptors play, like trying to get in the game. I feel like they need to widen out the baseball shot a bit so I can see what's going on, because if the crowd's not there and you don't get the feel of the crowd, then you don't know what's going on. Like, give me the wide angle. I'm going to call up Rob Manfred on that one.
I'm sure he's taking calls.
He's not worried about anything right now.
It's taking calls. Well, Timmer, I think that was a killer pot. I'm pretty happy if I want to pat myself in the back in that one. Leo Rautins is one cool dude. Like, he's 60 years old. So I had some notes on Leo, and we could have talked to him for a while. And I know he was finishing up the quarantine, and trying to get him in before the season restarted was tough. He had 14 knee operations before he was done playing, and that was one of his big issues with some of the injuries there at the end. He's been with the Raptors since 1995. Yeah, like, there was some shitty years in there.
There's some bad Raptors teams.
And like, and not that we're at the same level at all, but I've broadcast games and didn't play-by-play, and when the team stinks, it's hard. Yeah, it's really hard to care, and before the game even starts, like, this game's a loss. Like, it's hard to get into it, and for him to lean in and be there since '95, and to see them win last year, like, man, oh man, I know he doesn't play, and I know he's not one of the players, but to see that as a Canadian, to watch, like, that's just cool stuff.
Amazing. It would have been amazing. I know I was pretty jacked up watching it in the garage. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hoping for a good Raptors run here again. I'm excited. I'm really excited the basketball's back.
Well, Timmer, let's watch this again.
I can't cheer for baseball, so
let's watch this again. Let's have a little celebration here at the end.
Canada, the NBA title is yours.
There you go. That's a good way to end, eh?
That was beautiful.
You gotta love that. You gotta love
All right,
that.
buddy.
Well, Timmer, cheers to you, buddy. I almost got 3 in tonight. I'm gonna have to crack
Did you
open
really?
this Clear Lake. Almost.
I might have. I've tried them all. They're delicious. This one's actually, the prospect is really good. Okay.
You done that already?
No, I tried it. Let's
Can't
not
tell.
start
Are you-
rumors.
Are you done it?
Just lean in here. There it is. Just lean in. All right, buddy. That was good
Timmer,
stuff.
Cheers, buddy.
Appreciate it. See ya.
Have a good one.